No. Oh. Give you guys a few minutes here. Good morning. Good afternoon, depending on where you're coming from. I am Tobias Josephson. This is Paranormal Witchcraft, LLC, where we approach the paranormal differently. Got some incense going here. Good evening, friends. Chris, how are you? I'll be fucking around with the Patreon today, so if you see it live, you can join if you want. I have no idea what it's going to look like or be like, but we'll figure it out. And that way, reminder, tomorrow at 2 p.m., we will have our first members meeting. Our members live stream, kind of like what Phil does with his channel. It seems to be something that most content creators will do here. I like the idea. Patreon is an audience that's based on emails. So that way we don't need to post on social media where I have 3,007 plus friends and maybe only 30 people will see that we're going live here. All right. Highly conducive to what we're trying to do here. So that being said, welcome to Paranormal Witchcraft. We have some success incense going in the background for you today. Obviously, behind us, we have one of our devices that we've been using for a couple experiments, and tonight we're going to be using a different device. Paranormal Laboratory Theory is the title of our 11 a.m. discussions here on YouTube. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to Paranormal Witchcraft, LLC. I am Tobias Josephson. We are Paranormal Witchcraft, and this is where we approach the paranormal differently. Yes, I am a practicing witch, a real life, living, breathing witch. Okay? I don't advertise I'm a good witch, but I am a good witch. That being said, let's approach the paranormal differently. Good morning, Truth Tarot Readings. Good morning, Chris. So, good morning, everybody. Let's dig right in. Welcome back to Experimenting with the Paranormal, only at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. Every morning at 11 a.m., we enter this paranormal laboratory. This is our theory session. Okay, that's why I don't have a trench coat on. All right, that's later. That's for the paranormal investigation experiments. Maybe I'll have my hair up in a mad scientist. I don't know. We'll see. But you will notice I will paint my eyes. All right. A lot of pagans will do that. It draws people in. All right. So you'll notice, and you should notice, that I'm different at night as well. That is not getting into the character, but getting into the proper mindset, making it a more serious discussion. All right. Not that this one isn't as serious, but you guys get the idea. I want to make it more engaging. I want the night ones to pop out a little more. That way it invites you guys to return, and those who stumble in here, all right, starting today for the next 4 years and 2 months is probably closer. I was thinking about that last night. I keep telling you guys we're on a 5-year growth plan, and I realized that we're coming up very quickly on a year. All right, we formed ourselves May 9th, 2025. All right, so we got just over 4 years to get our shit together. So welcome back to Experimenting with the Paranormal here at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. I am Tobias Josephson, its creator. Lady Fonda is out in the living room. All right, she's our CFO, our Chief Financial Officer. We have 9 other members of Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. All right, but we hail from social media land. So go find us on Facebook, more importantly, TikTok secondly, Instagram, and I believe here. Lemon wasn't worth it, so we got rid of lemonade. All right, so every night at 8 p.m., we will run a live paranormal laboratory experiment. Okay? Not ghost hunting, not chaos investigation that you'll see everywhere around us. Experiments. And tonight we test something interesting. Do paranormal devices react to spirits? Or is the truth more like sometimes to investigators themselves? I'll ask it again in full context. Do you believe paranormal devices react to spirits, or do you believe sometimes they react to investigators themselves? Answer which one you think. So if you think it's devices, type in the comments you think it's the devices reacting to spirits. Type investigators themselves if you feel like sometimes it could be the investigators themselves the devices are picking up. Or I'll even throw in a third option. If you think it's both, type both. Here's a poll for you guys. Answer as we go along. Do you believe ghost hunting devices are always paranormal? Do you believe all paranormal investigation hunting devices are always paranormal? Sometimes. Very good answer. Chris answered the previous question that sometimes it's the investigators. Chris answered this question. He said no. That was one of the answer choices. Yes, sometimes, or no. All right, so both and all answers honestly are acceptable. Before we get any further, please think about hitting that like button at the top of the screen. That helps the channel growth. Give anything in here a thumbs up in the comments. Feel free to engage with us freely as we're talking as well. So here's the hidden moment. Every paranormal investigation begins quietly, does it not? It should if it's not. Nothing's happening. There's a calm environment. You're quietly setting up. Your team's mentally thinking about what's about to happen in a few hours, depending on how early you've showed up, etc. Then investigators arrive. There's lights. There's cameras. There's equipment. There's expectations. Psychological ones. Emotional ones. All right. Ego driven ones. I'm expecting to get creeped the fuck out. All right. Would we all agree that happens more often than not? Yes. The moment investigators begin interacting, the environment changes. That's what we're trying to get everybody to understand. Okay? The moment you do anything in your investigation or your research that's antagonizing, you're going to get escalation. The moment any one of those things starts happening, that is the moment investigators begin interacting. That's the moment paranormal investigators begin reacting, and the environment changes. Now we're off to the races. Again. Every time. Isn't it? Isn't it just hard keeping it that hardcore? I really got to know how other teams do that. Isn't it hard to keep it up that hardcore all the time, that everything is a haunt, everything is creepy, everything is demonic, everything is dark? Every time, every place, no matter what you're doing. And it sounds like some paranormal investigators aren't hunting, they're being hunted. Because they're using the escalation so much, maybe they can't tell the difference between reality and what's real anymore. Remember, I asked a question last night, and I'll find it here in a second. It was a great question. And I'm going to go back, and we're going to ask this question before I go any further. Okay? If you pay attention to what we're showing you, if you pay attention to the patterns we're trying to highlight, okay? I can't find it right off the top of my head, but I know in my head I was going to show you guys on screen. So if you start noticing this pattern, if you start realizing what's going on around you, All right. And we're not here to challenge anyone else's opinions or investigation framework. All right. That's not what we're interested in. Okay. But for some of you, if you pull yourself back and you start seeing a pattern and it doesn't resonate with you, and you start seeing escalation more often than not, then we've done our job. Okay. Because this education series may just change the way you look at paranormal investigation forever. Okay. So the moment investigators begin interacting in any manner, the environment starts changing. That's why I use the terms psychological awareness. That's why I use the terms emotional awareness and checking our personal, emotional, and psychological environments to make sure they're in sync. All right. You see how this is syncing very much how you'll see a computer screen. It's the very same thing when you enter a location. The discipline. And it's not necessarily spiritually that the environment begins to change, but quite literally, psychologically. Here's another question for you guys if you're up for it. Have you ever watched an investigation where activity started after investigators began asking questions? Your answer choices in the comments are yes, no, sometimes. All answers are accepted here. Paranormal devices detect signals, they detect fluctuations, they detect changes. Notice how that word happens a lot. We're using terms like devices. We're using terms like environmental, psychological changes, which create chaos and escalation in investigation because there's purely no responsibility or discipline being taught right now. It's just go out and get those devices and figure it out. What's happening is people are thinking things are demonic. People are assuming things are dark. People are guesstimating before they even enter the location. And they're doing that very quite simply in front of you because they're thumbnails. They want you to truly believe hook, line, and sinker every single investigation that team goes to is going to be balls to the walls. That should be your number one red flag on social media and the internet. Okay. And if it's not, then you're part of those communities, and that's fine. Okay. So, in reality, paranormal devices are extensions of investigation. I don't know why people don't understand that. The best tool you have in investigation that you'll ever have is free. It's you. We have abilities if we would just slow down where we can be detection instruments ourselves. Right? And for a lot of the population, that's just not possible because their ignorance will prevent their mind from being open minded enough to embrace meditation or psychism or anything of the likes. So there are a lot of teams that have a lot of skepticism against psychics and witches. Okay. But it's just because they don't understand. It's just because they don't have these qualities like some of us do. Okay. And I don't look down on them for it. It does get frustrating. It does get irritating, the ignorance, but it is not my karma to judge those people. Okay. I am a proud eclectic solitary practicer. Okay. Always have been, always will be. Okay. And the fact that now we are a team of paranormal investigators really shouldn't surprise anybody in the communities. But it does. Why? Fear of what they just don't want to understand. That's the truth. Ask any other team around us what they think of us, and I guarantee you it'll be something along those lines skeptically. We don't deserve to be here. Nobody knows who we are. You can't have witches doing investigations. You can't have psychic witches doing investigations. That's for normal people. Only normal people can be paranormal investigators. No. Okay. I will say it again. I am Tobias Josephson. This is Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, and this is where we, human race, approach the paranormal differently. Let's continue. Investigators are the ones interpreting these devices. This device right here can only get interpreted if I know how to interpret it. Right? That's how this works in this field. You turn it on, all right? You turn the lights off, and you do it the right way. And it should never be attacking things that can unalive you. It's not funny that everything's demonic. It's not funny that everything's dark. It's not like in real life. It's not. Most of you will shit your pants if something serious happens. You have no idea. Okay? This is why Paranormal Witchcraft LLC exists. There's no responsibility. There's no discipline. And that responsibility lies on paranormal investigation team leaders who are shoving this shit across the internet day in and day out, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And everything they do is demonic. It will chase them. It will attach them. They've survived a possession. These are all red flags. By the way, these are all red flags. Take the next 7 days. Go around the internet. Watch other paranormal investigation teams. You come back in a week and you tell us if you saw escalation in their attitudes. You tell us if you saw escalation in their actions. You tell us if they escalated their own investigations. I give no other teams an audience with us who have a rock to throw, period. And they don't like that. That's what makes me so well known is I don't play bullshit. I don't. I can't fake it. I won't fake it. And I won't be like everybody else in the world because that's the easiest path of least resistance. And if everyone else is doing that, I look just like everybody else. Paranormal witchcraft looks just like everybody else. That is not who paranormal witchcraft is. Why do you think we're not on social media right now? Because it's a mess. Okay? It's a debate. They all know better than the guy next to them, and yet they're all a big clique. All right? That's all I'm going to say about it. Take the next 7 days and you go out there and tell me what you find in a week. I guarantee you most of you are going to be like, oh my God, I've never stopped and thought about it. I've never stopped and watched it. You'll see it. It's plain sight, like it slaps you in the face. Okay? And it's not all of them, but it's enough of them that they've caused the community to go where it is today. It's nothing but sensationalism. Because people want to be seen. I don't care if we get seen ever. That's not what I'm on camera for. There's a huge difference between building a legacy, all right, and trying to use something as a lottery ticket because you don't want to do the real work. Do the real work if you're going to collaborate with us. If you look at Blue Mountain Paranormal, they're doing their own thing the way it should be. Those are the 1%ers that are doing it for the right reasons. Those are the 1%ers that have the community's best interest at heart, not themselves, their teams, or their businesses. And as much as I would love to make money hand over fist at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, we are a non-profit organization. The only reason Patreon has a dollar limit is because I was forced to. The only reason Shopify has price points is because I was forced to. Everything that people buy for us is a gift. It's a blessing. It's merchandise. It's spontaneous purchases. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be engaging. It's meant to feel joy about it. It's not so much about look at my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. Look at our team, 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 look at our shirts, look at our shirts, look at our shirts. That's not investigation. It's escalation. You're throwing your immaturity on the camera. You're throwing your monetary, egotistical, self-centered wants all over the camera. And you're escalating everything so people think, hook, line, and sinker, that wherever your team is going, that's called being a salesman. That's called performance investigation. That's called escalation without one iota of responsibility or discipline to those people following you, to those people paying you their hard-earned money to join your hunt, and now it's just a performance. And it's a performance more often than not right now on the internet. That has to stop. Because you're not doing any efficient investigating by using every device you have. Every live has to be haunted. Every live has to be a seance. When does that plateau stop for the paranormal investigation field, friends? Ask yourselves that question. Look at the pattern. I can't say it again. Look at the patterns on social media and the internet when it comes to paranormal investigation teams, the podcasting, the content creation, all of it. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? And what are you watching? Come back in a week and tell us. Investigators interpret those signals. That's the problem. You have to interpret that. And the rest of the world doesn't know the difference. That's the problem right now. The ignorance is through the roof because it's the path of least resistance. Of course, everybody wants to believe every place is haunted. I want to believe that. But just because I want to believe something is doesn't make it so. And that's what other investigation teams out there are telling you guys is that every single time, every single location, every single thumbnail, when does it stop? Ask them that. I encourage you to ask those other teams those questions. Challenge them. Make them show you their work. How did they determine it was demonic before they entered? What advices, what history, what facts can they tell you besides that everyone else has said it's haunted? That is not what you come to investigation for. You come to paranormal investigation to prove to yourself and your team if it's demonic, not just because the entire world told you so. If the entire world told you to jump off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? No. So why would we blindly follow thousands, if not millions, of investigators who are just performing? And yet people do it every day. Think about why. Look at the pattern closer, observe quietly, come back in a week, tell us what you think. EMF meters, REM pods. All right, I've got a couple of devices below me. All right, got a tripwire here, but we have all kinds of devices too, like everybody else. All right, and that's great to have all these things going. It really is. But the best investigation tool there is on the planet is free, and it's you. You're all you really need. Just most people haven't attuned their bodies properly, haven't thought about checking their emotions, haven't thought about checking their mind for troubles. Something's renting space in their head and they're angry and frustrated, and now they're going to take it out on the spirits. Spirit connection devices. See, devices produce signals of many different kinds: EMF, REM pod, EVPs. Okay, you got the SLS now. Okay, that's a cool little thing where you'll get stick figures standing on my head in the background. Very cool device. Might have to get one within 5 years. That's a lot of money, though. So let's take some comments. Yes, what you're seeing right now on the internet is monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. Notice myself. People were asking me last night, oh, you should get a motorcycle. You look like a biker. And no, another person said I look like a rock star. And you know what I said? Here's what I said: I've worn what I want, how I want, when I want, my whole life. I don't look at fads. I don't give a flying fuck what's in style. I wear what I want, when I want, period. It's that easy. All right. I happen to get inspired by certain individuals over my lifetime. One of them, rock. All right. One of them, people like Johnny Depp. Okay. Keanu Reeves. I've adopted my look from many, many, many different sources, and I haven't changed it in about 10 years because this is the closest version of authenticity I can put myself in right now. All right. This is why for the past about 10 years, okay, I have not changed who I am. All right. Because I had been searching for this guy for a long time. All right. And so I do have a lot of enemies because they make certain opinions or perceptions about me, and that it is what it is. It comes with the territory when you're unique, when you're authentic, when you're just different to the point where you don't really fit in anywhere in the world. It goes with the territory. All right. A lot of people will chastise. A lot of people will condemn. A lot of people will talk down to people like me because they don't understand. And yet they're not smart enough to ask the right questions. And so my silence is never ignorance, especially as a psychic. So here's another question. Have you ever heard investigators claim they heard a word through a device that you personally did not hear? It sounded something like, oh, did you hear that? He said he's going to fucking kill us. What? That's not what I heard. I heard, no, the thing said it's going to fucking kill us. What? All right. Have you ever heard that? I think you have. All right. That's what we're talking about. That's the shit we're talking about, guys, is there's a lot of people around that are duping you. Because the thing about social media is most people don't want to take the effort to meet me in person. It really intimidates people when I will go to Facebook before a trip and be like, I want to meet people. And you can just feel people go, if you want to get to know me and our team, you're going to have to deal with us. Right? That's just the way it is. You can play your irrelevant ego games with us, but just know we're not paying you any mind either. Okay. So tonight's experiment, we will run Paranormal Laboratory experiment number 3. If you've missed the last 2, that's on you. These 2 have not. We had a third in here again, and they left again. I wonder who that was. That's 2 lives in a row that's done. So that tells me somebody's peeping. Who is it? So tonight we will run a paranormal laboratory experiment number 3. The device we will use is the REM pod. This device triggers when something enters its electromagnetic field. But tonight, we are testing something different. Again, we're going to be testing investigator behavior. That's where it starts, that's where it ends, and you can't have credible or validated without that, okay? 2 investigation experiments will occur tonight. Yes, that's what we're calling them, investigation experiments. We have to test this theory we've just talked about, passionately, by the way. If you couldn't tell by my voice, it is a pet peeve. The first experiment we will use containment over chaos, evidence over the fucking egos protocol. The second experiment, we will use the escalation techniques that the whole world seems to think works better than remain calm and show respect and control the environment. Just fuck it, let the spirits have at it. We're going to escalate everything. All right. It'll be the same room. It'll be the same device like we've done the past 2 nights. Again, if you've missed it, it's your responsibility to go back and check them out. And it'll be the same investigator, myself. There'll be a little different behavior, all right, on the second one, because after being calm, we'll use escalation. So, next question: which phase do you think will trigger the REM pod more? And you can vote now. And that way you can think about it from now till then. Which phase do you think will trigger the REM pod more? Containment over chaos protocol or escalation protocol? Which I'll vote escalation, because escalation is why people do it. All right. I know why people are doing it. I just don't agree with it. Okay. That's like attacking an alien. I'm going to attack an alien because I'm a human being with an ego that thinks I can take an alien out. What kind of logic is that? All right. All right. So that's why I'll pick it. Because it's the easiest path of least resistance. Everyone does it. It's like on the highway. Nobody wants to be in the slow lane. They want to be going 100, and they want me out of their way going 80, right? So that should give you another red flag. Look around. All right. Most of the individuals you're watching probably drive like that. They probably talk like that, and they probably act like that. They're going to be ignorant. They're going to be belligerent. They're going to be egotistical, might even be an egomaniac of sorts. Okay? You get the idea. During the silent phase, all right, the part of tonight's experiment, we will sit completely silent. Again, we won't ask any questions besides the first one. We won't do any follow-up provoking. We will just use quiet, authoritative observation. Watch what happens when the environment becomes still tonight. Just like last night. Try to remember what you're feeling, what you're thinking when the lights go out, watch the devices, etc. Okay? So again, you can vote here. Vote calm if you think paranormal investigation should stay calmer and adopt more responsibility and discipline, or type escalate if you truly believe and you're one of the types out there that do use escalation and there's no other way for you. No answer is the wrong answer here at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. So tonight at 8 p.m., we will run Paranormal Laboratory Experiment live at 8 p.m. We will be using a REM pod, and we will be using containment over chaos in experiment 1 and escalation over evidence in experiment 2. Join us tonight. I invite you guys back to see the outcome of that experiment, and we can discuss it together and observe the difference for yourself. Containment over chaos, evidence over egos, because here This is where we approach the paranormal differently. At Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, we run experiments. I'll give you an Easter egg for tonight's script. Paranormal Laboratory Experiment number 3. I did promise Chris I had everything ready last night, and I do. It helps streamline my time, and so that way, from noon till 8, I can actually conduct business, have conference calls, meetings, phone calls, messages, etc. And then I can work on my personal goals, the book, the website, etc., etc., etc. Gives me time to go to my home group, Brotherhood of Male Witches. All right. If you don't know what that is, it's males only, and it is a private group. So the REM pod detects disturbances in its electromagnetic field. And when something enters that field, the lights and tones activate. Many investigators like to interpret this as paranormal interaction or paranormal evidence. Tonight, we will test something different. Okay? So there you go, guys. I'll give you an engagement question and we will shut her down. Which phase do you guys think will trigger the REM pod? We asked it a few minutes ago. Which phase tonight do you think, or I'm sorry, not which phase, I keep saying that. Which experiment, it's supposed to be experiment, which experiment will trigger the REM pod more? Containment or escalation? Containment, Chris says. Chris says sometimes more responsible to the question above. Truth tarot readings, thank you. Because always calm. Very good, Chris. Totally true. Yes, it is. You can't do that and throw yourself right into the fire. See, that's what escalation investigators are doing. They're telling you they don't need their protective gear. That's what they're telling the audience, is they're telling you that everything's demonic. They're telling you that everything's dark. They're showing you in their thumbnails that every time they go there, it gets worse, and yet they continue to return. All these things should be a subliminal red flag. Number one, why would you go back to a place that terrifies you? Two, if you were scared to death last time, again, let's ask that question I just asked. Why are you going back? See, you notice in the titles, they don't say why they're going back. They might say something like revenge or going back. But are they telling you guys why they're going back there? What are they going back there for? If they ran out of there screaming, what the fuck are you going back for? That's where the titles come into play. Those titles suggest. You have to be smarter than suggestions. Okay? You have to look closer. You have to look at the pattern, and then you can make a freestanding choice whether or not they're using credible or escalation. And if it's escalation investigation and it's not for you, then you know you don't want to join that team. If you want a containment over chaos team, that would be paranormal witchcraft team. If you want an escalation team, there's thousands to choose from, literally. Can't even tell them apart anymore. They all look the same. Okay? They do. It's a pattern. It's a click. It's performance investigation. Have yourselves a good afternoon. I am Tobias Josephson. We'll see you tonight at 8.